Ta'ban Nuru, 76, was a resident of Addargudi, a small vicinity in EmbaSeneyti in central Tigrai. Eritrean forces were the first to enter the village, she says, spreading chaos and fear wherever they went. On November 23 of 2020, the Eritreans started to attack civilians in Addargudi, forcing residents to leave their homes to hide in the wilderness. Her only living son, Mas'ud, grabbed her from her home, took her to a hiding place, and left to collect his cattle. This would be the last time Ta'ba would see her son.
He was the only one left of my 5 children, and the Eritrean troops took him from me. Prior to his death, he was trying to hide me away so Eritrean soldiers wouldn't find me and kill me. He took me to the wilderness. He told me to stay put until he collects his cattle. He covered me with a blanket and left. I told him not to go, but he told me he would be back. I wish they would have killed me instead.
Ta'ba waited for days for her son to come back and take her home. 10 days later, family members would find her, take her home, and tell her what had happened to her son.
I waited for a whole day there, but he didn't come back. At dusk, I went out of my hideout and started asking people who were passing by if they saw my son. They all told me they didn't see him. I spent the night there. In the morning, I asked a man if he knew where my son was. He told me he might have gone to another area. I told myself that he wouldn't leave without me and kept asking. They all kept telling me they didn't see him. I waited for 10 days there. He never made it back. My daughter-in-law and the neighbors found me and took me home. They told me that my son had been killed.
Amina Adam, Ta'ba's daughter-in-law, says her and her husband were separated while trying to escape Eritrean soldiers. Amina searched for her husband for 9 days before she finally found his dead body besides that of slaughtered animals.
He was a farmer. He was with his cattle when they killed him. They first slaughtered 10 goats and an ox, and then they killed him there.
Amina was pregnant when she lost her husband and was hiding in the wilderness. When she finally returned home, she realized the soldiers had camped there, taking everything they could find. Amina had come to realization that she had not only lost her husband, but also the home that they had shared together.
For 9 days, while we were out in the wilderness, Eritrean troops were camping in our house. They used up everything while they were there and stole whatever was left when they left. I was pregnant at the time. I came back to an empty house and had nothing to feed my children.
Mas'ud was not the only loved one Amina lost. Her father would be taken at the hands of Ethiopian forces in January of 2021.
First, they killed my husband, and then they killed my father. My father was killed by Ethiopian soldiers. He was 88 years old, and he was too old to leave the house. That's where they killed him. We were forbidden from burying his body, so we buried him at night, when the soldiers wouldn't see us.
Amina, a single mother of 8, is now forced to take care of her children and her mother-in-law alone with no salary or help in sight.